Hello Barnes & Noble viewers, my name is Joe Sugg, otherwise known as Thatcher Joe on YouTube, and I'm going to be sharing with you at home my top 5 books to give to your friends for Christmas this year. So without further ado, first up we have, what should I choose first? Now growing up in school, this is one of my favourite series of books, and it's called A Series of Unfortunate Events. That's the name of the series. This one's called The Bad Beginning. This is the beginning, the first book in the series. It's about 3 children whose parents perished in a fire, and they basically are orphans. And there's a man here called Count Olaf, who is not a very nice man at all. He wants to adopt the kids for their fortune, I think. It was quite a while ago that I read them, but I think that's what happens. They're not too long, they're very easy to read, and it's very clever. The way they write these books is very clever. There's a lot of moments in this book you're like, oh, so that's why that happened. Oh, it all makes sense now. You know those moments? There's loads of that in there, which is amazing. Next up we have a book called Artemis Fowl. It's about a 12-year-old boy who's like a millionaire and a mastermind genius, and he's very good with tech. And what happens is he kidnaps a fairy. But not like one of the like cute, you know, like fairies that you'd probably thinking of right now. These fairies are like hardcore. They do not mess around. You don't want to mess around with these fairies in this book, but Artemis does, and a whole adventure ensues. Next up we have a book called The Catcher in the Rye, which is an all-time classic. A lot of you have probably already heard of this book. The story's about a 16-year-old called Holden Caulfield, and he's been expelled from his school. Now I had to read this book in high school, and to be honest, I didn't really enjoy it that much because I had to write essays on it, I think. Which, you know, it kind of puts you off any book if you have to write an essay on it. But I read it again a few years later when I finished high school, and I loved it. Second time around, I loved it, loved it, loved it. I thought it was a really, really great read. So that is also on my list. This book is called The Colour of Magic by Terry Pratchett. Now Terry Pratchett is one of my favourite authors of all time because he's so imaginative. It's about a wizard called Rincewind who lives in this place called the Discworld, and one day a tourist arrives, like someone completely new from another place, another planet arrives in the Discworld called Two Flower, and Rincewind becomes his sort of tour guide around this world, and obviously it's hilarious, and it's just a really, really great read. And last but not least we have Username Evie, my debut graphic novel. Who'd have thought it, hey? Who'd have thought I'd put my own book into a list of books that you should go and buy for your friends? It's about a young girl called Evie who's not really having a great time at school and dreams of finding a better place to go. Little does she know that her father is this tech genius who's created this virtual world for her in his laptop. And one day she gets hold of this laptop, I'm not going to tell you how, but she gets hold of the laptop and she goes into this virtual world, and a whole adventure happens. It doesn't take too long to read through it. It's not particularly thick. It's very, very easy to read because obviously it's fully illustrated throughout. I really, really like it, and I know that you will too, so I think it should definitely be on the list of books that you should go out and get for Christmas this year. So there you go, that is my top 5 recommendation for books for this Christmas to give to your friends, family. Thank you so much for letting me on your channel, Barnes & Noble. I've had an absolute blast being here. Thank you so much for your support, and I have been Joe Sugg, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers, bye.